Hello everyone, welcome back to a new post today. And today once again, let's venture out into the policies of the Telangana government. Today, let's look at the Telangana Cool Roof policy that was launched very recently in 2023, and it aims to deal with the environmental effects of urbanization. So Telangana is one of the largest states in the country which has a large number of urban areas and also urbanization. The people in the country, almost 47% of the population stays in urban areas, and therefore with urbanization we also know that there are certain ill effects with regard to environment as well. One of the ill effect of urbanization is the urban heat island effect. That's because of the change in the landscape and also the manner in which we construct our buildings, etc. And with regard to much of using of air conditioners as well, because even those air conditioners which are used also, they emit a lot of pollutants which increase the global warming effect. And so one step ahead with regard to environmental friendly urbanization or smart cities and sustainable urbanization, the Telangana government has now brought up this Telangana Cool Roof policy for 5-year period with certain objectives, mission in mind, and mainly to deal with the environmental side effects of urbanization, keeping in mind, so that the urbanization in the state is sustainable. We know that urbanization is an engine of growth and it is also an inevitable outcome of development process, and we also know that increasing urbanization has its own ill effects. To make it sustainable, we need to mitigate the ill effects or also tackle the ill effects of urbanization, and urbanization has also led to the heat island effect. So this has driven temperatures very high. This leads to also poor air quality. It has an impact on the health of the people in the urban areas, and therefore with the greater need to keep oneself cool and also in an environmental sustainable way, the Telangana government has come up with the Cool Roof policy for 2023 and 28. Cool Roof offers a very simple, cost-effective solution for urban challenges. I'm sure all of you must be remembering the times when summer used to approach us, when we never used air conditioners. The terraces used to be painted with white paint. Yes, so that is what the Cool Roof policy is all about. So Telangana is an urban state, and about 47% of the population now stays in urban areas, making it the third most urbanized state in the country. Hyderabad, we know, is the capital, and it is fast growing urban agglomeration also in the country, and thus the process of urbanization is also going to be more rapid. Very soon we are going to touch 50%. We need cost-effective, climate-friendly and cooling solutions that will help to prepare the communities to deal with heat stress. And we know that every year Telangana during the summer season is already affected by the heat wave, because we are situated on the peninsula plateau, and also so we need a cool policy to reduce the urban island effect. Buildings on the success of the Cool Roof pilot project that was undertaken in the year 2017. So as a base for this, the Cool Roof pilot project was already started by the Telangana government in 2017. The Cool Roof policy of 2023 and 28 builds on that. So it suggests the adoption of Cool Roof as a measure for implementation to build resilience against the extreme heat effect and improve the thermal comfort, and also move the state of Telangana towards reducing the urban heat island effect in the cities. Now we intend to follow the target-based approach, and also at least achieve at least 300 square kilometers of cool roof area by 2028, and this is what the Telangana policy says. Telangana State Cool Roof Policy of 2023 and 28 aims to create very simple solutions that can be scaled up to the state level to bring down urban heat impact in the state. There is a strong need to provide good quality of life in the urban areas, apart from improving urban amenities while also protecting the environment, and the state therefore adopted this Cool Roof Policy. Now, if you look at the report of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which reports on climate change impacts, it says 323 million people in India are at a high risk due to heat, and heat waves are becoming more and more worse and also intense with growing global warming. That's one of the contribution because of urbanization and vehicular emissions. So the climate change is making extreme events such as heat waves more severe and also more frequent. And the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change recent report, which calls on climate change impacts, adaptation, vulnerability, highlighted that intensifying heat and humidity in India could be increasing a challenge for survival. And extreme heat is just not a public inconvenience, but it can also endanger public health and also increase the public health expenditure as well. Now, the state of Telangana is situated in the Deccan Plateau and it is vulnerable to heat waves owing to the geographical and the topographical extent. In addition to the geographical location, Telangana is on high growth trajectory because of the rapid urbanization and also increasing demand for cooling in the form of air conditioners. Telangana is the third most urbanized state in the country with 47% of the people in urban areas, and this is likely to exceed 50% very soon. While cities act as engine of growth, the growing urbanization also converts the open space into heat trapping roofs and roads, and these hot surfaces worsen the urban heat island effect, driving temperatures high, requiring more energy cooling solutions in indoor spaces. Now, to meaningfully counter some of these urban challenges, the Telangana needs cost-effective and climate-friendly cooling solutions to help us to prepare with communities to cope with extreme heat effects while also addressing the urban heat island effect. One such solution is cool roofs, now which help to address. So urban heat island effect is the increase in the temperatures in that particular urban areas, which is much higher compared to the outer areas, and this is because of the use of more fossil fuels in the form of vehicular emission and also the air conditioners which emit the greenhouse gases that trap and hold the heat into the atmosphere around that urban area. And this has a lot of indirect and negative effects on the climate and also with regard to the health of the human beings in that particular area. So the cool roof will help to address the extreme heat, reflecting some of the sun's rays, incoming sun rays, back out into the atmosphere, and therefore reducing the heat emission retention in the buildings, and also subsequent quantum of air conditioning to cool the indoor. So first of all, it will reflect off the amount of solar radiation that is being absorbed by the building, and also it will reduce, because the indoor spaces get automatically cooler by this, it will also reduce the dependence on more air conditioners. And I think this is a very good idea to be adopted by most of the urban areas, because it is also adopted world over as well, and we look into further. So in 2019, if you trace the origin for this, 2019 the Government of India released a national document called as the Indian Cooling Action Plan. Now it provided a vision towards cooling across sectors encompassing inter alia, that is reducing cooling demand, refrigerant transition, energy enhancing efficiency, and also technology options with 20-year time horizon. So this was the Indian Cooling Action Plan that was released in 2019. It provides short, medium and long-term recommendations across different sectors aimed at providing sustainable cooling and thermal comfort for all. Now let me tell you, the greenhouse gases emitted by the air conditioners are much more worse and they have the ability to stay in the atmosphere for a much longer time compared to carbon dioxide, and also they have the heat trapping potential or effect much more than the CO2. Therefore, reducing the dependence on air conditioners is a very good solution. Reducing cooling energy demand is a key to implement this policy document of the Government of India, and it proposes to reduce the cooling energy demand to climate appropriate and also energy efficient building design, low cost strategies like cool roofs. It specifically recommends cool roof programs to provide for thermal comfort for the economically weaker sections who cannot afford air conditioners, and also the low income groups through local heat wave action plan. Similarly, in India's National Mission for Sustainable Habitat, under which the National Action Plan for Climate Change, cool roof techniques are recommended to promote new development in peri-urban areas for all new constructions as well. Now, what is exactly a cool roof? So it is the most cost-effective method to fight heat. It lowers the indoor temperature by 2 degrees to 4 degrees, and cool roofs are one of the simplest and the most cost-effective ways to fight heat. Depending upon the various parameters such as the location, the type of the roof, the reflection of the cool roof material, roofs can keep the indoor area's temperature lower as much as 2 degrees to 4 degrees compared to your traditional roofs. And some research studies have also shown that city-wide installations of high reflective roofs and pavements along with the planting of shading trees has a potential to reduce the city's ambient air temperature by 2 degrees centigrade in summer months, and this is the official records. So what exactly are cool roofs? So they are painted with solar, the roof of the building or the terrace of the building is painted with solar reflective paint covered with white tiles or thin white membrane. Cool roofs are an easy and a cost-effective option and a way to fight climate change by mitigating the urban heat island effect and also reducing the cooling demand. It works by because it takes in less heat from the sun than the regular roofs. So it stays cool in the sun by reflecting back the sunlight into the atmosphere and minimizing the amount of solar absorption that is done by the building and emitting more of thermal radiation to help dissipate the solar heat again. Now the cool roof reflect almost 80% of the sunlight as compared to just 20% of the regular roof, and thus the buildings with cool roofs are significantly cooler compared to the regular roofs. Now cooler homes, so the cool roofs keep the indoor temperature almost 2 degrees to 4 degrees lesser than the households, traditional households. It lowers the cost. The cool roofs are very limited maintenance costs, and they can save almost 20% of energy as well and can increase the longevity of the roof beneath them. So these are the advantages. Now application of the cool roof has many advantages. As I told you, it keeps the indoor environment cool. It also helps if many of the buildings in the city go on to adopt this cool roofs. It decreases the temperature even of the urban area. It saves a lot of energy demand. It will reduce the dependence on air conditioners, thereby reducing the emission of the greenhouse gases from the air conditioner, and that is the chlorofluorocarbons, and also increases the thermal comfort and reduces the cooling demand in the long run. The roof is an important component of the building and having a direct impact on the building's energy needs, and therefore thermal comfort will be provided by the cool roof policy. The cool roof will function primarily by reflecting more of sunlight, as I told you, than of the incident sunlight which comes to the roof back into the atmosphere, and therefore keeps the roof and also the building indoor cool. Cool roofs are accepted internationally as a cost-effective, energy efficient and money saving strategy in many countries and cities to have cooler and reduce the urban heat island effect. Cool roofs reflect the sunlight and absorb less heat. So leading cities across the world also have adopted this cool roof program, and cool roofs need very limited maintenance. As I told you, a cool protective coating can be reapplied periodically. That's the only expenditure, depending on the product and the quality that is used. It also increases the longevity of the roof beneath it. So not only providing cooling, but also it protects the roof beneath the paint. This combined with an estimated maximum 20% of saving on the air conditioner costs of the building and making a cool roof very effective. So let's say if a house has an expenditure of like 8,000 per month if you are using an air conditioner only in the nights, or maybe from the evening to the night, or maybe it comes up to 20,000 if you use it on the whole or on a daily basis every day, then it will reduce your expenditure by 20%. That is, you can save almost 4,000 rupees per month. In 2017, if you go back to the beginning of this roof policy, cool roof policy, the city of Hyderabad initiated a pilot roof cooling program led by the Municipal Administration and Urban Development Department, Government of Telangana, and the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation as well. The initial program included citizen awareness campaigns, pilot initiative targeting many roofs, and cooperation with businesses, and also applying cool roof techniques to low income community households as well. The state of Telangana, let me tell you, is situated south, we are not very close to the coastline also, and we are situated high on the Deccan Plateau. It is the 12th largest state and a geographical area of 1,12,077 square kilometers, 12th most populated state with 35 million residents. It is also the 8th largest economy in the country and rapidly growing, mostly because of urbanization. So sustainable urban solutions definitely is the need of the hour for Telangana. And businesses are building on the success of this cool roof pilot project. The Telangana cool roof policy suggests the adoption of a cool roof as a measure to implement to build resilience against the extreme heat effect, improve thermal comfort, and also provide the state of Telangana to reduce the urban heat island effect in the cities. Now it adopted this was a policy adopted, and after that after the pilot project, we brought in the policy, that is a cool roof policy from 2023 to 28 for a 8-year. So what are the global initiatives? So what are the initiatives taken by some major cities? Let us see for with regard to cooling impacts of the urban areas, like the cool roof policy. So leading cities across the world are recognizing already the benefits of this cool roof, and the city of New York in United States, which is the most urbanized and also the most polluted recently by one report of the United Nations, started a cool roof program in 2009 and targeted cool roof average for 1 million square feet every year. This was led by the New York Department of Small Business Services and support by the New York City Mayor Office. The program provided training and skill to applicants with the aim of providing full employment. So not only protecting the urban areas and the people there, but also provides employment as well. And the city of California in United States is aspiring and adopting a cool roof policy in warm climates. It is the only state in United States with energy efficiency guidelines that includes requirement for certified cooling materials that are needed. And California, all new replacement low slope roofs are required by the energy efficiency standards to be cool roofs, as a steep slope of the roof in several California climate zones is very helpful there. The city of Toronto adopted the Canada adopted CRP in 2000, cool roof policy in 2009. The city of Los Angeles in California, asphalt gravels must meet or exceed a solar reflective index value of 20 for all the re-roof applications in commercial and residential buildings. This is one of the steps taken by them. And also in 2019, a clean cooling collaborative in collaboration with the Global Cool Cities Alliances, Sustainable Energy for All, and Nesta Challenges launched a Million Cool Roof Challenge. The Million Cool Roof Challenge awarded almost $125 lakh in grants to 10 finalist teams, and these were based in South Africa. So South Africa started adopting the cool roof policy, Bangladesh, Cote d'Ivoire, Philippines, Indonesia, Kenya, Mexico, Niger, Rwanda, and Senegal. And in less than 2 years, more than 10 countries have managed to apply 1.1 million square meters of cool roofs. So this is one of an achievement. What does the vision document of the cool roof policy say? It says to ensure more rapid adoption of cool roofs in the state. Number 2, to develop ecosystem of suppliers for cool roofs, train manpower for applying these cool roofs, testing centers and materials to support implementation of the cool roof. So the whole chain with backward and forward linkages of the cool roof policy is being developed according to this vision, to enable access to cool roof for all irrespective of the economic background, and finally to ensure effective monitoring and evacuation of the cool roof installation. These are the vision. And the objectives of the policy, it says, is drive rapid statewide adoption of the cool roof to save energy, strengthen heat resilience and increase the thermal comfort, create institutional framework like manpower, production, design, implementation, etc. to implement the cool roof policy, identify financing frameworks to undertake the awareness building and also implementation of the cool roof policy, and supporting a workforce for this dedicated and also training program for implementing the cool roof policy. These are the objectives which we can see speak of an entire chain, that is with forward and backward linkages, and also the needed workforce and the design and with regard to the financial resources for the implementation of this cool roof policy. Now let me tell you that the cool roof policy is going to the total area of Hyderabad urban agglomeration comprising Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation and all the urban local bodies within a outer ring road, and the HMDA is about 7,000 square kilometers, assuming a very conservative eligible roof area for the cool roofing to be about 3%, and targeted cool roofing area with the current size of the agglomeration would approximately be about minimum of 200 square kilometers. And if you see, based on the preliminary calculations, conservative estimates show that Telangana would approximately save 600 million youths gigawatt of electricity per year after 5 years if 300 square kilometers of the roof area with cool roof come under the cool roof policy in the state. and studies also show a retrofitting of 100 meter square of roof as an effect on radiative forcing equivalent of offset of 10 tons of carbon dioxide. So we can offset 10 tons of carbon dioxide if we implement this program only in 300 square kilometers of area, and this will be the energy saving and also the offset of the 2000. This implies for Telangana cool roofing policy for 300 square kilometers, as I said, in 5 years, which would lead to a one-time carbon offset of 30 million tons of carbon dioxide. So these are the major benefits coming from the cool roof policy. And the major strategy is, it has two components, mandatory and optional. So it is mandatory for government buildings, for non-residential and for commercial buildings. For residential buildings, the residential building should have a plot area of 600 square yards and above, and for government assisted housing schemes also it is mandatory. It is optional for buildings having installed rooftop solar systems, and that may also adopt cool roof for better thermal effect. Then it is also optional for retrofitting of all non-residential buildings in the next 3 years, and also it is optional for all the residential buildings with an area of less than 600 square yards to adopt the cool roof policy. And the policy period, I told you, is 5 years. The nodal agency for implementing this is the GHMC in the Hyderabad urban agglomeration area, and also for the rest of the state nodal agencies are appointed. So this is about the cool roof policy, how the state is working to forego the urban heat island effect and also reduce the intensity of the heat waves, especially in the urban areas. This will go a long way, not only in offsetting the carbon but also reducing the energy and also reducing out-of-pocket expenditure, especially with regard to cooling solutions. So I hope this information was really helpful to you all, and I shall see you in my next post. Until then, very happy learning.